Happy Wednesday, everybody. Well, by the time you're gonna be listening to this, it's gonna be Thursday. So let's do Happy Thursday morning. How about that? Listen, last night was the first round of the NBA draft, and if you thought last night was gonna be straightforward chalk draft evening at Barclays Center, you clearly underestimated how wild NBA front offices get when a talent pool is this deep. It was a flat out war zone last night. We at the top of the board hit exactly as predicted. DeBonta to the Wizards, Peterson to the Jazz, Boozer with Memphis. But what happened after those picks shook the entire league to its core. We didn't just see the massive Giannis trade to Miami officially finalized mid-draft. We saw 6 separate trades fly across Adam Silver's desk in the first round alone. NBA front offices were aggressively trading up, swapping value, and manipulating the board left and right. Tonight, I'm just going to be, breaking down the wreckage, analyzing how the San Antonio Spurs might have completely stolen the night, and handing out our official first-round winners and losers. Let's dive right into it. Before I want to name some ultimate winners, we have to look at the sheer volume of trades that reshaped the middle of the first round. The phone lines were hot last night. Hotline blinging last night. The biggest cascading move, of course, was the Giannis deal. Miami technically drafted Tennessee freshman wing Nate Ament at number 13, but that pick was immediately rerouted to Milwaukee to complete the package for the Greek Freak. Then you look at OKC. They held the 17th pick, but worked out an unofficial swap with the Memphis Grizzlies to move up and grab Iowa guard Bennett Sturts. And if you don't remember, I think it was two episodes ago, I talked about how he's a dark horse. I was not expecting him to go that high in the first round. He's an absolute analytical darling and a flawless high IQ connector for OKC's bench. I think that's one of the steals in the first round, and I think he's going to do great in OKC. Even the Detroit Pistons got aggressive, executing a trade with Memphis to acquire the 17th pick and select Stanford's Ibuka Okori, who was another guy I talked about as far as a dark horse to keep your eye on. Okori was projected by a lot of draft rooms to slip into the 20s, but Detroit clearly looked at his tape and said, we need an absolute bucket machine to pair with Cade Cunningham. It was a masterclass in asset fluid dynamics, with teams completely throwing mock drafts out the window to get their specific guys. But if you want to talk about a team that quietly sat back, executed a flawless blueprint, and potentially won the entire first night, look no further than San Antonio Spurs. Going into last night, everyone knew the Spurs' primary vulnerability. They desperately needed physical, high upside, front court depth to support their core. And man, did they deliver. At number 20, they watched Kentucky center Jaden Quintons fall right into their lap. Now look, Quinton slid down the board because he only played 4 games at Kentucky last season, while working his way back from an ACL injury. But this kid is still only 18 years old. When he's healthy, he's an absolute defensive terror. At 6'10", with a massive 7'5" wingspan, he has elite rim running ability and shot blocking instincts. But the Spurs weren't even close to done. They immediately turned around and finalized a trade with the Nuggets to secure the draft rights to UConn's Terrace Reed Jr. Just think about the vision right here. By adding Quintons and Reed Jr., the Spurs completely insulated their front court. They didn't reach for a flashy perimeter player. They added raw size, elite length, and devastating defensive insurance. If Quintons returns to 100% form, getting him at 20 alongside a trade for Reed is the absolute steal of the draft. It's a massive win for their future structural identity. When I think I fell asleep around pick 18, honestly. I was just exhausted. I had a long day. And I woke up and I went back to see how the first round was. And I'm like, oh my God. The Spurs got Quintons and Terrace Reed. The Mavericks get Adai Mara, which their new coach, Dustin May, came from Michigan. The Warriors get, Axel Lundenborg. It almost felt like an NFL draft last night. The teams got what they needed and got what they wanted without just going after the flashiest player in the draft. I think another sneaky pick, I guess it just depends on how you feel about the Kings, but the Kings get Darius Acup. You put him up with DeMar DeRozan, and their young core as well. I mean, hopefully they can turn it around in Sacramento. I love Darius Acup's game. I think that pick was great. But, I'm going to start handing out some official report cards. Who actually conquered the chaos and who left Barclays Center looking confused after round one on Tuesday night? Here are my winners. The Utah Jazz. Getting Darren Peterson at number 2 was an absolute home run. There was a ton of late buzz that he might go number 1 overall. But because of his college availability issues, he slid to 2. He possesses the highest backcourt superstar upside in this entire class. Pairing him with their current group makes Utah terrifyingly explosive. Number 2 on my winners list, the Chicago Bulls. They targeted size, athleticism, and absolute length, and they hit the bullseye right on the head by landing Caleb Wilson at number 4. With Wilson, it now gives them a hyper-versatile elite defensive weapon, and pairing him with Arizona swingman Dalen Swain at 15 completely transforms their perimeter identity. I think the Bulls did a great job in the first round. And then my third winner, the Atlanta Hawks, grabbing a two-way floor general in Kingston Flemings at number 8 was the perfect systemic fit. Then they snagged Zuby. Oh gosh, I'm going to get this name wrong. I apologize. Zuby Ejiofor at 23, a physical, versatile big who can defend and pass. It completely optimizes their high-pace system. The losers of the draft, even though I just talked about it, they got a Daimara, the Dallas Mavericks. Listen, Dustin May just took over as head coach. The joke was that he'd immediately draft one of his former Michigan players. Well, he actually did. I think they reached for Morez Johnson Jr. I was surprised he was the first one to go. They picked him at number 9. I mean, Johnson is a highly talented, gritty glue guy, but for a rebuilding Dallas team at number 9, felt like a massive reach when elite guards were still sitting on the board. My second loser is going to be the Charlotte Hornets. Their glaring need in Charlotte right now was front court depth. They already have LaMelo, Brandon Miller, and Con Knippel on the perimeter. So what do they do at 18? They draft Texas Tech guard Christian Anderson. He's a brilliant shot maker, but the positional redundancy now that's happening in Charlotte makes 0 sense for their roster construction. And then my third loser. It's not a team, it's actually an individual. Isaiah Hartenstein from OKC. OKC owes a $28.5 million team option on Hartenstein this summer, and they drafted some talent. A Daimara was going to go there, but then they gave up a Daimara to Dallas in a trade. So I think Hartenstein might go, but I also think, God, it's weird. Like, I put him on the loser list just because I think OKC might keep Chet Holmgren, but at the same time, I feel like maybe OKC trades Chet Holmgren, free up a little bit of cap space, maybe bring in somebody else who can play that starting 5 position. I mean, hey, why not Mitchell Robinson out of New York? 2 former New York guys with with Oklahoma City Thunder, Hartenstein and Robinson. Would be worth looking at. But, at the end of the day, round 1 completely altered the balance of power across both conferences. And the execution of these mid-round trades showed that the front offices right now are no longer passive. They are hunting specific archetypes. I would love to hear from you guys about how round 1 went. I know round 2 starts in about an hour of me recording this right now here on Wednesday night. But do you guys agree that the Spurs had the sleeper masterclass of Tuesday night? And who is your ultimate winner and loser from round 1? Drop your thoughts in the comments below on this episode on YouTube, also on Spotify. And also, I just want to give a shout out to everybody. We did hit 50 subscribers on YouTube as of yesterday, and I'm super thankful, super grateful for all you guys. We're slowly but surely building this channel. I can't wait to do more with it. I will... Once I get some more steam and everything, I will be doing video recordings, so it's not just an audio file. I have been trying to keep these episodes around that 8-10 minute mark, just so it's easier for you guys to follow along. If you guys want more insight, more in-depth conversations, and if you want these episodes to last a little bit longer, feel free to just shoot me a message on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or comments. It's like, hey, would love to see about maybe 10 more minutes of this. Would love to hear what Brandon has to say, but I appreciate all you guys, appreciate all your support. Thank you for letting us hit 50 on YouTube. Next goal, let's get to 75. Let's get to 75. So As I always end our podcast, make sure to hit that subscribe button on Spotify and YouTube. This episode will be dropping Thursday morning, and I cannot wait. I will do another episode that will drop, I will say, Saturday morning to go over tonight's round 2 action of the NBA draft. You guys have been fantastic. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me after a legendary draft night with round 1. Keep living in the tape. Peace and love, and I'll talk to you guys later.